the day is going along here this morning. And again, if you didn't hear my interview or the interview that the Liberty Brothers had me on their radio station that took place the other day, you should actually go back into my archives here on YouTube and listen to it. What I want to do, because I've said it over and over again, and I want you to see that the whole fabric of this country and everything that we thought about this country, it's all changing and shifting right before our very eyes. And I'm going to read you what the Bible says, because the Bible is quickly becoming a book that is soon going to be burned in masses in this country. Soon you're going to start seeing people having bonfires with the Bible, with the scriptures, because of the type of attitude and the choices that people are making today in these alternative lifestyles. Now, I believe the Bible, and some of you do, but I want you to see what's taking place, because it's like a tidal wave. And I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. The gay agenda in this country is going to set the precedents, and it's going to open up the doorway for all forms of marriage in this country. And those of you who disagree with patriarchal rule and biblical marriage, now that your country is actually sanctioning what the Bible disagrees with, I wonder if you're still going to hold your position, because the Bible clearly says that no man can actually serve two masters. Either he will serve the one and hate the other, or he'll love the one and despise the other, but you cannot serve God and mammon. So I want to go ahead and read this article. I'm going to let the article and the scriptures do the speaking. First thing we'll do is quote the scripture. Leviticus 20:13 says, "If a man also lie with mankind as he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them." Now, whether you like it, lump it, understand it or not, this is the law of the Most High, the Creator of the universe, and He did not ask me to represent your personal opinion or my opinion about anything. He just told me to tell the truth, and not only to tell it, but live it and love it. And I'm utterly amazed at how many people, when the Bible clearly condemns this lifestyle, that how many people are saying that they believe in this Creator, which there's no way you possibly can actually turn around and accept this alternative lifestyle. And I'm on a section right here. This is Kansas City, where the firestorm is about ready to start and take place. Businesses are already boarding up. There are windows, there's doors, and everything else waiting for the outcome of the jury's judgment in reference to this Michael Brown case. But anyway, it says Kansas City. It says Jackson County issues same-sex marriage license, perform ceremony. Now, my question to you is especially if you are a believer in Jesus, if you are a believer in Yahshua, can you really, truly, in all good conscience, go out here to these institutions, these government institutions that is clearly against the law of God, the law of Yahweh? And can you actually go and get license from these institutions and still have a clear mind and clear conscience? Because the same license that you get, or the same permission that you get to do something, which is already lawful, simply because you have rights as a human being to live and exist. Can you actually really truly go out and agree with these institutions and go and submit and get their license if you're a heterosexual? I mean, how do you square that? It just doesn't make sense. Reading on, Kansas City, Missouri. The Jackson County Court began issuing same-sex marriage license and performing marriage ceremonies at 2 p.m. Friday. The Jackson County Recorder of Deeds began issuing same-sex marriage license after the ruling from the U.S. District Court, Western Missouri. The decision comes on the heels of a Friday morning decision by a federal court that Missouri's ban was unconstitutional. John Kenny Rodrigues. That means if same-sex marriage is unconstitutional, then that means people who are against polygyny, that's unconstitutional as well. Because after all, if people are going to have the right to life, liberty, and a pursuit of happiness, why in the world is people allowing something that the creator of the universe condemns, but yet the majority of this country are agreeing with it? It's just a question I want to propose to your mind now. John Kenny Rodrigues and Robert Gann were the first couple to apply for a license. They said they have been together for nearly 8 years. You mean they have been breaking the law for 8 years? So regardless of whether it was legal or illegal, there are people out there breaking civil law. So what I'm doing is I'm communicating with us here this morning. I'm a presenter of information and truth. And so you mean to tell me we have a lot of dissenters against the law here in this land that does not agree? Because after all, if a law is unconstitutional, that means that the law is unlawful. Is that not truthful, actual, and factual? Now, don't get me wrong. I don't agree with the homosexual or gay or lesbian lifestyle or their agenda. And I never will. I'm just wired a different way. But there are a lot of people that are straddling the fence. You see, I believe the creator of the universe, and I take his truth on the matter. But most people are fighting against him, and they don't see it that way. So you mean to tell me it's been okay for these people to break the law and live as, what do you call them? Husband and wife? Man and man? I don't know. What do you call them? So, I mean, after all, do they get punished for breaking the law all these many years? Or what is the purpose of this license in the first place? All these are good questions, but let me go on here. They said they've been together for nearly 8 years and planned on being among the first to be married when ceremonies begin at 2 p.m. From the first day I met him, I knew I was going to marry him, said Rodrigues. Really? Well, anyway. Judge Scottsville has spent 22 years on the bench in Jackson County. And he said even though Missouri Attorney General Chris Costner filed an appeal against the ruling, the marriage license for Rodrigues and Gann is valid. For now, until a judge orders the record of deeds to quit filing those marriage licenses, they can go ahead and do it, he said. Courts are ruling that marriage is a fundamental right of every citizen. Jackson County Executive Mike Sanders said in a news release, given that marriage is such an important right, sound public policy dictates that rights be applied uniformly across the state. Very interesting, isn't it? Judge Scottsville and Sanders contacted him about the situation and he was happy to assist. It's the right thing to do. Yeah, based on who mindset, who determines this right. That's why I have to ask everybody here a question who's listening to me in reference to this. We have the world, and then we have the word. And when I mean the word, I'm talking about the word of the creator universe, Almighty Yahweh. Who are you going to obey? The world or the word? Because to say that these people are right is to say that the creator is wrong. Do you agree with that? Because the word disagrees with the world. Me and you people have a lot of reevaluating to do. I'm very honored to be here today because gentlemen were the first in history. This is history in the making right here. The newlyweds described the day as a roller coaster. They were denied the license in the morning and pronounced husband and husband by the afternoon. So let me see, coming from a biblical perspective and viewpoint in traditional marriage, and I'm not talking about traditional Christian marriage because there's no such thing as traditional Christian marriage. The Bible is a Hebraic book about Hebrew people, their customs, manners, and lifestyle, and all the world has adopted or centered and focused the attention of their laws around it. And what better, or who better could actually interpret what the book is saying but myself, or someone like myself, an actual bloodline descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Moses, David, Jesus. That's me, a bloodline descendant, or a true Hebrew and a true Israelite. Let me see what we got right here. Let me read on. For them, Friday marks a historical day for Jackson County. To have that reversed and to have equality across the state is a huge victory. Not just for the GLBT couples, and I don't even know what that means. But I think for everyone, Roderick said, watch Roderick and Jan get married in the video below. These licenses will be issued at both the Jackson County Courthouse in Kansas City and the Truman Courthouse in Independence, Missouri. Now, the truth is, and that's why I tell you people over and over again, in this country, we are bitten of the fruit of lies to not even understand what marriage is. The bottom line is, go read it again. Forget about your ideal, your theology, your philosophy, and stop trying to psychoanalyze everything in the world or analyze things according to what your own intellect has chosen to amass what truth is and what it's not today. But men of Israel, you go into a woman, meaning you have sex with her, she becomes your wife, period. I mean, think about it. Can anybody find a wedding ceremony and the instructions to a wedding ceremony in the Bible? What is a wedding? What constitutes a wedding? Or what is marriage? Is marriage a wedding ceremony? When does marriage take place? When is marriage confirmed? See, all these questions are burning questions that most people are confused about, but not me. You know why? Because I'm an Israelite. I understand it. Bottom line, you go into a woman whether you like it or not. She's your wife. If you go into her unlawfully, meaning that the woman is already married, you commit adultery. And I submit to you that adultery can only be committed by a woman who is married. So if a man goes into a woman who is married, he has committed adultery. In this country, religion has failed you immensely because they don't know the difference between adultery, fornication, lawful, unlawful, whoredoms, iniquity, sin, transgression. And you have all these people running around committing whoredoms, which, according to ancient Israelite law, we're charged to put the evil away from you. So you have a lot of people running around without agreements, whether it be verbal or contract, having all this free sex, and you women are just fragmenting your soul and just destroying your mindsets out there. But anyway, I know this, I didn't get on here to preach and teach to you right now, but just wanted to report this article. What saith you? What saith you? Because it's obvious that the preachers in this country and the religions in this country have failed you in communicating clearly what the truth is concerning biblical marriage. I hope you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And I end this video by saying, come out of her, my people. If you are Yahweh's people, I wouldn't go get this world's license. You don't need permission for something which is already lawful for you to do in the first place. You don't need their approval. You don't need their sanctions. You don't need their agreements or disagreements. It's already your right as a living, breathing human being, especially if you're an Israelite. That's the truth, and that's the truth straight way. But what say if you would like to hear your opinion?